Today, we've got a couple elite Amazon sellers who do millions a year on Amazon, and they're going to talk about not just their wins, but also they're going to get honest about their losses over the last year and give us some of their top strategies. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think.
Not sure on what main image you should choose from? Or maybe you don't know whether buyers would be interested in your product at a certain price point. Perhaps you want feedback on your new brand or company logo. Get instant and detailed market feedback from actual Amazon Prime members by using Helium 10 Audience. Just enter in your poll or questions, and within a short period of time, 50 to 100 or even more Amazon buyers will give you detailed feedback on what resonates with them the most. For more information, go to h10.me/audience. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium 10. I am your host, Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that's a completely BS-free, unscripted, and unrehearsed organic conversation about serious strategies for serious sellers of any level in the e-commerce world. We've got two serious sellers here, two elite sellers who are no stranger to the podcast. We've had them on here before. Andrew and Wee, how's it going?
It's going good.
Going good.
Excellent. Now, let me give you guys, we're not going to go too much into their backstory because they've been on the podcast before. So if you want to get Andrew's backstory, guys, go to episode 319. I believe you can do that at h10.me/319. But it was an episode where we had Andrew and his brother on talking about their journey as brothers starting an Amazon business. And we has been on a couple of times. The last time we was on was episode 305. He did an episode with Ankit. They talked about, together achieving over $20 million in sales between the two of them. And his original backstory episode was, I believe, 190. So if you want to find out Wee's superhero origin story, make sure to check out episode 190. But we're not going to go, like I said, too much into the backstory today because we just want to see what these guys have been up to. So first of all, Andrew, this is the first time I'm talking to you in depth in 2023. How did your 2022 end? What was your wins and losses, and what, like, how did your sales do? So in 2021, I'm looking at your original episode. I believe either you and your brother did about 1.6 million total. Was that just you, or was that you and your brother together?
So that was just me. Okay. I can't remember what my brother did that year, but yeah, that was just me that year. For 2022. For all through 2022, I did really good. I think my goal was to get 3 million. I thought I was going to get 3 million in 2022, but I only ended up at 2.4.
Oh, yeah, you suck. That's terrible. 2.4 million. What the heck? Still
gotta have goals. Yeah. But some of that was I think coming off of COVID when everything started to open back up again. A lot of my stuff is industrial supplies, so things you could get at Home Depot or Lowe's. So I feel like more people went to, get that online there. And then I also got some more competitors that took a little bit of market share. So I think a little bit of combination of those two things. Okay. But for 2023, everything looks good. I'm 40% year over year, according to Helium 10. So that's good. So kind of starting off 2023 pretty good.
And what were you telling me, like when we were just chatting here before we got started, you just saw an order go through your FBA for 250 units of one product?
Yes, 250 units of I pulled up Helium 10, I saw a huge spike. I'm like, oh, what was that? And just going through, and 250 units of one product.
Is that normal? Like, do you have a product that people buy in bulk a lot, or this is just has never ever happened before?
Sometimes I get bulk orders, so I'll sell individual units, and then I'll sell case packs of 150 of those units, or 100 pack of those units. On this one, I don't have a case pack like that. But yeah, sometimes I do get bigger orders. But I would say not very often, maybe once a month or something.
Okay. Interesting. I forgot what you were at in 2021. I think you were around 4 or 5 million or so, or what was your 2021 2 years ago?
We were around that mark, but
and how was last year? Up or down?
I can say last year was down. So
okay.
I'll be one of those guests on your podcast that we'll share kind of like the downs.
I like that. We always keep it real here.
Everything's
Amazon's not rainbows and unicorns every 365 days a year. So was it down just due to market? Did you like maybe lose a little focus and concentrate on some other things, or just the natural cycle of your products? What do you think happened?
Yeah, so we saw in the supplements category, and one of the big things that happened for us is during COVID, right? A lot of things weren't available, supply chain issues as well. So we did over order significantly. Just because I think that we had problems, with supply chain. We had our manufacturers put out really long lead times. And on top of that, I think that the biggest thing was, like if people weren't used to ordering online, then now everybody was ordering online, right? So you saw a lot of national brands, a lot of big brands that are out there. They shifted a lot of their revenue dollars from retail directly into online. And then, you started to see as well, Amazon make a significant push into advertising as well, into search advertising. And you can see, like if you look at their financials, it became a massive part of their business. So a few years back, people didn't really look at Amazon as being, a leader in the online advertising space. But you saw a lot of brands that were, that had just added Amazon as a channel, or weren't necessarily concentrating on Amazon as a channel, start to focus more on Amazon and start to push more of their marketing dollars towards that. And so, like small businesses such as ourselves, we've been on Amazon for 10, 11 plus years, and we've had the luxury of not having a tremendous amount of competition come in from, some of the more traditional brands. People were focusing on it. They knew that they had some, they knew they had customers there. But then I think that a lot of people started to push much more heavily into Amazon because they knew that's where their customers were buying. And so, yeah, like a lot of the brands that we were competing against dropped prices. The cost of advertising became significantly higher, and there was just much more competition. We're already in a competitive space to begin with. So I think that, we've been playing catch up. We're not a low cost leader, and we generally don't want to play in that game. We're on the higher end. And so I think that it's difficult sometimes when we look at our cost per click and just our, cost to acquire a customer. It's difficult to play that game in the long run. Is just lose continuous amounts of money in the advertising space, competing with larger brands that just push more sales volume and have outside advertising. And, for them, it might be more cost effective to acquire that first sale and just push for a higher, just to maintain brand relevance within Amazon. So I think that a combination of that, and then we've also had a few logistical issues that have kind of taken us on a downward path, but we're on our way to turning that around now.
2022 versus 2021, if you were to put a dollar amount on how much you were down, like were you down $1 million? Were you down less than $1 million, more than $1 million year over year?
Yeah, I would say we were down over $1 million. It's tough to admit that, but
this is why I want to dive into that. Now, as a business owner, what did you have to like? How do you because that happens probably more times than people are up $1 million. Or people down $1 million. You just don't hear about it that much because people are too shy to come on podcasts. And like it's like, hey, he's putting it all out there. But how do you deal with that? Like, do you have to cut back on other costs? Like do you have to lay off staff at all, or how does a business keep going after losing that kind of gross revenue?
Yeah, I think I'm used to it. I've worked with a lot of startups in the past. It's been great for us for 10 plus years on Amazon. I've been on an upward trajectory, but it's not similar. This is the longest I've ever done something. I'll put it that way. So I'm used to doing other businesses. I have an entrepreneurial mindset, jumping around, doing a lot of different things. So I'm used to the ups and the downs, but it's one of those things as an operator, you just have to be calm, have to take a look at, the things that you can control and things that you can't control and focus on what you can control. I know it's very cliche to say that, but a lot of it came down to looking at operating costs, operating efficiency, and trying to figure out, what changes can you make in the business in order to operate at a more comfortable margin. We didn't do any fundraising, so we're completely, bootstrapped, I would say, from from the beginning. But we didn't lay off any staff necessarily. We just I think the biggest thing was just looking at all the different platforms that we pay for, all the different apps that we pay for. We used to use a couple of the different 3PLs, and we always wanted to get away from using 3PLs just because we didn't have full control. And a lot of times the 3PLs didn't work out. They made a lot of mistakes and errors. So we took that opportunity to move a lot of our fulfillment in-house. And now that would seem like the opposite, where it might be more cost effective to use a 3PL. But in our case, we just crunched some of the numbers and found it more effective to control more of our operating processes. So really a lot of it was like trimming the fat, cost cutting out a lot of apps that we weren't using. We were using everything. And not that we were using it efficiently. We had just been operating like that for such a long time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's good. That's important for everybody to hear. That's why I was especially excited to have you back on the podcast. Is it's important to understand that, hey, in a perfect world, sure, everybody just keeps going up and up and just have all the subscriptions and all the overhead that you want, and you'll still stay profitable. But there's ups and downs on Amazon. You got to be able to pivot. It's not like you just said, "Oh, we're just gonna go ahead and pack up shop. We lost money, or we didn't make as much money as the previous year. Let's shut down our business." No, you look at where you can, save some money and make adjustments. So that's really good that you guys did that. Now back to you, Andrew. I remember I don't remember. That's a lie. I'm looking at my notes from the last episode. My memory is bad. But you had said that, you found your very first product that you sold on Amazon, like using Black Box. And then 2 years ago, you had, from that very first product, you had expanded to about 16 different SKUs. What are you at now about?
So I'm at about, I think, like 53 now. It's really just 4 main product types, and then there's different like color and size variations.
And all in the same brand and niche.
Yeah, all in the same brand, all in the same, not the same category, but you would use these products. They're all like industrial products.
What's been your strategy, to increase? I would say, like I said, more people are probably down that I talked to were down last year. Compared to the previous year, but you were up. So is it just because you kept launching new products, or you had some of your legacy products also still have been increasing?
Yeah, I would say a lot of the growth for me is just launching new products. If I looked at my existing product line from 2021 to now, it's probably per unit, it's probably gone down a little bit. Just because of, COVID was over. More competitors in the space now. So a lot of that was from, coming out with new product lines.
Now, one thing that I think a lot of Amazon sellers have a question of is, sometimes you can get, you can become, top in your space, or you're the first person in your space to really provide something. But then how do you protect yourself from just a lot of competitors, be it from China, be it from other countries where there's a lot of manufacturing, going in and undercutting you and trying to steal your market? But like, how do you stay relevant? Like, how do you stay at the top where you're not losing your market share to up and comers who just look at what you're doing and then just try and duplicate it and make it cheaper or do so? So how have you battled against that? Like, is it differentiation? Is it unique marketing you think you're doing, or what's going on?
That is the battle, especially in the stuff that I offer, because it's not, IP protected or anything like that. It's having, I try to have the best creative. I try to have, I love PPC and online ad stuff. So I'm always in there, trying to maximize the potential for, PPC, try to just have the best listing. That's all I can kind of do. And then, lately I've been, just in this year, I've started to I have some other friends that are in different businesses and stuff. And, I have a local like distributor that might be interested in, either some of my products or having me source products for them. So now I'm kind of looking into, possibly doing that, which would be, it wouldn't be on Amazon, but it would be another kind of side source of income that would help.
That 2.6 million you mentioned, is that all on Amazon USA, or are these, is there Walmart in there, or Amazon Canada, or anything else?
There is Walmart. I think Walmart was like, I sold like 20,000 on Walmart last year. So it's kind of like whatever.
Okay.
But hopefully, I think that's doing better this year, but I haven't checked the numbers on that.
Now I remember before, you have ridiculous experience as far as marketplaces from Japan to all over the world. So, are you still expanding, or have you consolidated, like, to try and just focus on certain marketplaces, or what's your strategy been the last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, we were selling in UK and all around Europe. We were selling in China and tried Japan as well. And I'll be honest, we're consolidating back down to the US. And part of that is that our product is not universal, meaning that I can't just take a US product and put it into the UK or Germany or Japan. And in the heavily regulated space, we need different labels. There's a lot of compliance regulations that we need to go through. So logistically, we just made the decision that we needed to slim down on some of the things that we were doing, even though that we were making some revenue, in those other countries. But I think that just with the cost of compliance and producing unique products for those markets, it was an easier decision for us to focus on the U.S. market. We expanded outside of Amazon. We're selling on Walmart, and we're selling a lot more direct as well. And that's kind of been our focus, is really, going back to grassroots as a DTC company, focusing on how we can actually drive and build customer loyalty through our own website.
We talk a little bit about the L's you took last year. What's some W's? What's something unexpected that happened, or something that you actually did expect and it actually worked out exactly as you had planned, like a product launch or some marketing campaign or something?
Yeah, I think a big W for us was that we increased our subscription revenue. And, we've always been pretty focused on, retaining customers and customer retention. So on average, our subscription revenue has gone up on Amazon, our subscription percentage and just, LTV in terms of Amazon Subscribe and Save has gone up. And then also looking at our own website, a lot more of that has, improved as well. And I think that, most of that is kind of focused on us not being like the loss leader in our product category, us focusing on providing a more premium product, also working with a lot of affiliates. And our affiliates are not just like internet marketers and your typical influencers, but we have a lot of affiliate partners that are actually doctors and healthcare professionals. So when they find a product that works well for them, they continue to order from us or recommend our products. And that's reflected a lot in our reviews online. So we know that a lot of like providers that are out there, they don't want to stock a lot of product. They'll just tell people which products to go buy. And they know that, a lot of people right now are just going out and looking on Amazon, looking online to buy those products. So we'll offer them a discount code or affiliate commission for them to give to their customers to just go out and order. And we do see that reflected in our reviews, where a lot of our products are like, hey, my doctor recommended this to me, or my healthcare provider recommended this to me, and it's worked great. So I think that's a big W for us, is that, just increasing our subscription revenue, but we do suffer on net new because, with PPC and just trying to get people for the first time, sometimes they'll go and look at other products that are much cheaper than ours. So we do require a lot of education up front, and, we've been doing a lot more of that externally.
All right. Do you have like inserts or QR codes where you can capture some of that Amazon? What's your strategy there? The Amazon customers where, you might not be able to market directly to them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've used insert cards for, I can't remember when we first started it, but it's been many years since we used insert cards, and we've tried a variety of different things, from free product offers, to ebooks and a lot of different things. But now we've switched over in the past year or so to using QR codes and just labels instead of insert cards. And part of that is also just to streamline our packaging a little bit more. But with the QR codes, you're able to dynamically change the link. And it's just easier. Everyone's so used to just being able to scan a QR code now, just with COVID and, going into restaurants and scanning menus. So we are doing that. We're trying a variety of different things. We're trying to provide, educational content as well as different offers. Obviously, the educational content doesn't resonate as well, but doesn't perform as well as offering a big discount or a free product. So, we're continually testing. But the good news is that we do have the resources on the back end to kind of swap those offers out. And since we own all of our own fulfillment, we can make changes on the fly anytime.
You've sold tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of units, I'm sure, with QR codes and things. Have you ever had anyone flagged by Amazon or gotten slap on the wrist of any kind of insert card or QR code?
No, we haven't. And I think that the main reason why we haven't is that we're not doing any of those tricks where we're asking people for 5-star reviews. We're not putting any 5-star imagery on there. We're not asking for reviews, before somebody claims an offer. And I think that that's important where, people have a variety of different opinions about insert cards and things like that. It's really like, you have to kind of take a look at it from the customer perspective and Amazon's perspective. If you make a universal offer, like this is part of your brand, and you don't continue to treat yourself like just an Amazon brand, then I think that you're going to be okay. And then, just obviously review everything that Amazon's doing and don't do the things that they tell you specifically not to do, and then you'll be okay.
What would you say is your take rate now on getting, I'm assuming you're trying to get the email address or something, like for compared to the orders, is it 1%, 5%, 10% of people are scanning and opting in?
Yeah, I would say depending on the offer, we were before when we were doing the insert cards, we were getting about a 10% take rate. So, it's definitely good enough. But one of the things that to consider for my business is different than other people's business is that, a lot of our revenue, probably 40% plus, is subscribe and save. So you're not going to get people continually coming through, right?
Sure.
So, it does vary from time to time, but I think that, obviously 10% is great. We were happy when we were getting it. And I think that, that should be something that, I hope that's what other people are getting.
Yeah. And then which one is performing? You mentioned you've tried a lot of different things, whether it's the education or you do ever any, like, I don't know, you can't really have a lifetime warranty on supplements or something, but what's your best copy that gives you the best opt-in rates?
I think that, giving a product offer or a complimentary gift, that's always performed well. And I think just naturally people want something for free. But we do offer a lifetime warranty on our supplements. So if anybody's not happy with it at any time, they can always just return it.
Oh, okay.
So and that's just another point as well, right? So if somebody's thinking about this and they may have purchased like a 3-pack or a 6-pack or something like that. Anytime somebody asks for a refund or lets us know that they're not happy, then we're happy to oblige by that. Yeah. The majority of people do not. So it's really something that we don't find too much liability in providing that. But yeah, I think that anytime you can offer a complimentary product, a discount, it's going to depend by category. The educational content, yes, we get a lot of people to come through for that as well, but it clearly doesn't perform as well as, providing an offer. All
right, back to Andrew now. You saw We There is giving us some good strategies there. So what's some unique strategies that you've been using? I remember the last episode you were kind of tight-lipped about it, but you don't have to give all your secrets away. But what's some unique things that you think you're doing that has been some of the secrets of your success?
I've really as far as the Amazon PPC is concerned, I take full advantage of the sponsored display video ads, all the sponsored, brand video, like the video headline ads.
Let's talk about that a little bit. What's your strategy? Like how do you, it's not just a matter of, let me just turn this on and boom, I'm going to be rich. I'm sure you have some kind of specific thing.
To a certain extent it is. There's a lot of people that don't use them. But as far as what some of my strategies are, for a sponsored display video, maybe I'll create 10 different ads and
let people know about what sponsored display video is, because I think a lot of people know the sponsored brand video. Sponsored display video was something I believe launched sometime last year. So people know regular sponsored display ads is just some of those ads that came near or show up near the buy box on product pages. But what is sponsored display video for those who might not have heard of that?
From what I understand, it's basically this. It takes up the same it takes the same placements as the sponsored display, but it's instead of just a solid picture, it's a video, and you can put different videos, different headlines, little captions and stuff on there. So you can really experiment with different stuff. And if I'm targeting one sort of complementary product, I'll put a different video and a few different headlines in there and test them and see which one's going to do best. And then if I'm targeting another type of complementary product, it'll be a different video. So just getting really granular in that stuff.
How do you choose your targets? Like, are you only looking at, ASINs, your auto campaign Discover, or are you going and like using Black Box, or even just looking on Amazon using X-Ray or something to find like, targets that you think, I think I would do well on this page. What's your strategy there?
I do use the Black Box, like the product targeting for the frequently bought together and things like that. And then Brand Analytics has like the market basket or something, or it's shows the, people who bought this also, who bought your product also bought this. There's one of my products that it's an industrial product, but I found that people are buying it for like birthday parties too. And so it's just like really random. So now I'm creating content that's like has that product in it, but it's like in birthday parties for like birthday parties for kids, So I don't know. So that's some of the ways.
That's the thing. That's important to call out. Like sometimes your product will get relevant for the most random thing. Like I'm taking over this one account recently that I'm trying to do some case studies on, and one of the main products on there was, I think it's like an oil diffuser or something like that. And if you look in Brand Analytics or Search for Performance and even Cerebro, for some reason, there's just tons of like sexual product related keywords that this thing is not just showing up for, but is converting for. And for the life of me, I actually kind of don't want to know why, I don't want to think about it too much. Like, why in the world are people buying it for this keyword? But hey, the data's there. Like you would have never thought, I would have never thought like oil, essential oil diffuser. Like, what does this have to do with XYZ keyword that I can't even mention on air? But it's like, hey, double down on it. It's people are use products in different ways, and you might have probably never thought an industrial product would be used in birthday parties. But if you see the data, you got to double down on it. That's cool.
What kind of funny story, when I was helping my brother at the very beginning, when we were getting him started, he was looking through different products and he's like, I found this rope. And it was like, but he looked at the reviews and it was like, this rope is being used for like, for adult purposes. And it was like, the rope was like pink and purple and, stuff like that. And everyone was saying how soft the rope was. And I was like, oh, I see what this is used for. So anyway, yeah, like he ended up not selling that. That's not his product.
Okay. All right. Well, what else? We kind of diverted here a little bit from your PPC strategy, but what else are you doing in PPCS Unique?
Trying to do. I'm experimenting with different stuff. I'm trying to bring traffic from off Amazon on Amazon. So Google Ads is like Google and Bing ads. Been playing with that. Been playing with like display ads more on Google. I'm finding you can drive traffic with pretty cheap, click or cost per click. And I'm just trying to see if that, if I get rewarded for that or if my rank changes, anything like that. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And then lately I've been I've been a one-man show for a long time. And I have an assistant now who is doing great. And I'm looking to just get more of a team set up. So I'm not like constantly, bearing all the load here, because that's definitely something I need some help with, because I have a really hard time like letting go of some of this stuff.
Delegating.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us definitely have that issue. We actually have an opportunity in a couple of weeks. We have our elite workshop, and we is going to be on this new thing that we're trying to a panel where people can ask. I like providing forums where people can just ask each other questions, because sometimes people get shy, whether it's online or in person. It's like they have a question, but they're like, I don't want to ask, or they're kind of shy to raise their hand or something. So we try and provide those opportunities. So we has graciously agreed to be one of our first panel members ask a seller anything panel that we're going to have. Are you
Yeah.
coming out, Andrew, to the Elite workshop?
I don't think I'm going to be at the Elite one. I'm going to the $1 Billion Seller Summit though, so I'll be
Okay,
a little bit
cool.
after that.
That'll be your second one, right?
Yeah. First
Yes,
one
yes.
was awesome. I'm really excited for the Puerto Rico one though.
Yes. I'll be there. I'll be there too. So if anybody wants to get more information on the $1 Billion Seller Summit, h10.me/BDSS, I believe is the link. Any last tips and strategies? Like something like a 30 or 60-second tip that you can give the audience.
So a lot of people have been talking about ChatGPT and all these different AI tools that, there's hundreds of different tools coming out every single day, probably more. And I think that there's a lot of noise out there and people are trying to figure out how to use it. They're trying to figure out how to use it for themselves and how to possibly replace jobs that they're doing or their team's already doing. I think that probably the biggest tip that I can provide is allow and encourage every single person on your team to actually use it. Because, if you're using it from the top level as a business owner, you may see different things than somebody who's using it in their everyday life as, working, on your business. And we've done that as well. So anybody from customer service to operations to marketing, everybody's been using it and improving processes, kind of like the own process that we're working on. And then those processes are adopted across our entire business. So everybody becomes more productive. As opposed to just kind of one person and thinking about all of the processes within your business. The other thing is along those lines is that you don't always trust information that you get from ChatGPT. I find that more oftentimes it's actually more inaccurate than it is accurate when providing information. I know that it doesn't have access to the internet currently unless you have GPT Plus. You are able to use different extensions to go in there to give it access to the internet, but just be very careful with the content that you're putting out there, or do your research, play around, and figure out how to incorporate into your business for yourself.
Andrew, what about you? Couple tips.
Just touching on that ChatGPT like AI thing, I've kind of noticed the same thing. I've caught ChatGPT just making stuff up or like lying, and I kind of looked into it. They call it hallucinations. It's like, oh, ChatGPT makes up these hallucinations, and I'm like, what? So be careful with that. One thing I've been trying to do, I've been watching Exit Ticket on Helium 10, and just trying to learn more like financially, because I do think at the end of this year I want to sell one of my brands. I do have kind of a credit card hack. On American Express, they have a credit card called the Plum card, and I never really gave it the time of day in the past, but it allows you to basically have, instead of, you have to pay 30 days after your statement, you can wait up to 60 days after your statement. So it gives you like more cash flow. It gives you like an extra month to pay. So that's just kind of something people can go check out. All you have to do is make the minimum payment by 30 days after the statement, and then you can pay the rest off, another 30 days after that. So I put like shipments on it and stuff where I can get, basically just an extra 30 days of like credit. And the only downside is if you wait the full like 60 days, you don't get any credit card points, which I love getting credit card points. That kind of stinks, but you do get, if you pay it off normally, you get like 1.5% cash back, which is pretty like standard. But yeah, if you want an extra 30 days to pay stuff off, the Plum card from American Express.
Yeah, that's a good tip. I'll just add on to that as well. In addition to the Plum card, because I was also looking into that, there's a card called Parker. So Parker gives you net 60 as well. And then you can combine that, like, this is for people that need funding for operations, inventory, or whatever it is, giving you that extra 30 days. There's also the other hack that probably a lot of people have talked about before, is that, if you need to pay a supplier with a credit card, but they only allow you to use a check, then you can use something like Plastic to do that. They do charge a small fee on that, but I think that in combination with just net 60 days on the credit card, allows you a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, I've used that a lot of times.
Could also be dangerous if you're put yourself in a bad
make
situation.
sure you're keeping track, otherwise you get hit with a huge bill.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that a little bit because of just funds, and also some travel hacking. So I can, if I got a bonus for points on a certain month or something, then that's how I go every 50 episodes to the Maldives on my credit card points and stuff. So yeah, Plastique is definitely something that I think is great. All right, guys. Well, Andrew, I'll be seeing you in a few weeks at $1 Billion Seller Summit. I'll be seeing you in a couple weeks here at our headquarters. If anybody else is interested to go, just reach out to customer service. Even if you're not a Helium 10 Elite member, you can actually pay to go, but it's pretty expensive. Like I think we charge like $600 or $700 or something to attend. But Elite members can go for free. And then the night before, so guys, the night before the Elite workshop, we are doing a social event, like a little party at Dave & Buster's. Did you ever go, to any of our Dave & Buster events that we did way back in the day?
I did. I went to probably the inaugural one where we used to be called like FBA High Rollers or something like that.
Yep.
So I do remember we had that big room and all those gold balloons with Manny and Guy. It was a good time, actually. And that's, those events, actually, I met a lot of people from those events that I continue to talk with and just DM. There's a lot of conversations that don't happen in the Helium 10 Elite group. Like Enki and I didn't meet him at that event, but I'm just saying that there are a lot of conversations that happen once you build a relationship with somebody. And that's a great place because there's so many people that have different backgrounds, different stories, and just great place to have conversations.
All right, guys. Yeah. So May 24th, save the date for that. If you want to go to that one, that's not just for Elite members. Anybody can go to that one. So reach out to customer service if you don't know of the if you don't have the link. Or actually, I'll make a link right now. Just go to h10.me/Irvine, IRVINE, h10.me/Irvine. That's where it's going to be at, and be some nostalgic times there because that was my first ever Helium 10 party too. Was at the Dave & Buster's there in the Irvine Spectrum. So we're trying to bring it back to the old school. So I'll be seeing you there at those events. And Andrew again in Puerto Rico. So thank you guys so much for joining us. It's great to hear about both the wins and the losses, that you have had, and that you guys are definitely both successful Amazon sellers. And I know you're an inspiration to a lot of people listening out there. So thanks a lot. And we'll look forward to having you both on at some time next year as well.